Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good day, good night, muy buenas noches, whatever you prefer, and welcome into another edition of Deportes Nation live at night. They're telling me, Norma Morales, we should say hello. Why don't we say hello? How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Parra. You know why? Because the graphic says so. Beside me over here, the lady is Norma Morales. Norma, first of all, good evening. How are you? Live on this. What is today, Norma? Monday the what?
Monday the 22nd.
22nd of June. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it, Norma. Are we live, Norma? Do we have to share again? I don't know how this works.
Yeah, you're going to have to share.
Yeah? How are you,
Yeah.
Norma? Did you have a good weekend, Norma? How was your Father's Day weekend? Not that you're a father, but...
Well, No, it was a good weekend. My husband just wanted to relax and do nothing, and I got to see my dad, and so it was a great weekend.
What is
How about yourself?
What is your father's name, Norma?
Frank.
Frank. Tell Frank hi for me, by the way, Miss Norma Morales.
I'm sure he's watching us live, so I'm sure.
Is Frank awake this late at night? I had no idea Frank was awake this late at night.
I'm sure he is.
I'm sure he is, and supporting us. Norman, by the way, I appreciate all the support we're getting from people. It's been really nice, and you'll have to tell us if we're actually on. The only thing I know how to do is reshare the link, Norma, for the Deportes Nation. That's all I know how to do. So I'm going to do that again. Riveting show here when I get to do this, and I guess, Norma, hopefully some people will watch. We have a couple of people watching us early on this evening, so that's a good thing. How are you, Norma? And what did you get your husband? What did your kids get your husband for Father's Day?
We got him some AirPods, and we got him a Whataburger Yeti cup.
Oh, Whataburger. You know what I got, Norma? It's in this bag.
What did you get?
It's in this bag.
What is it?
You'll find out later, Norma.
Okay, I want to know.
Just a little later. Just be patient, Norma. This is the tease. You got to be careful.
I want to know what it is.
It's just going to live right there for a little while.
Okay.
Don't fall. And it's not a living thing, by the way. It's not awake or alive.
It looks like one of those crown bottles.
Like Crown Royal kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we advertise Crown Royal? I guess apparently we did. So, yes, a lot to talk about today, Norma. We have some breaking news as far as what's going on in Washington, D.C. this evening. I'm going to do my best, Norma, to share this link, and then I promise we'll get to the show.
Okay.
How about you, Norma? Are you letting your peeps? Because once you alert your peeps, by the way, my present just fell.
I need to alert my peeps, don't I?
Yeah, you please let your peeps. Well, the bag will be back in a little while. I promise I'll let you have the pleasure of seeing one of my presents. I got several presents, Norma. I'm quite excited about that.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Gosh, they must really love you, Alex. Your kids.
Well, no, when you pay for your own gifts, I think it's a little different, Norma. I have no shame. I have no shame. It's okay. It's okay to share your own gifts. At least that's what I think. Norma, if people have questions and comments, they know
did
that.
you?
I did.
Gosh.
How does that work, Norma? People have comments and questions. They can write us little notes?
Yep, they can just comment on the live feed, and we can read them and answer them then.
Okay, because I can't even get that right. So please help me out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little challenged in many ways, and that's certainly one of them. Let's see, Norma. So that's taken care of a little. By the way, we want to let people know that last week we were very, very happy with our start to this new show, Deportes Nation Live at Night. We want to hear more from you, what it is that you want to talk about, what it is that you want to hear. Today, Norma, we've got a show, a little bit of everything, from breaking news that's going on right now in Washington, D.C., to things that are happening in sports, of course, the Trump rally last Saturday in Tulsa, a little bit of everything. But Norma, what I wanted to start with, and again, happy Father's Day to all of you, belated Father's Day to all of you fathers. We deserve it, Norma, and I think we should be Father's Week. I'm moving to a national holiday.
Well, remember you said week and then you said month. And so are you going to do like the whole month to be Father's Day for you?
Yes.
I mean,
yes. What's wrong with that, Norma?
Okay.
right?
Not that you can,
Like they have Heritage Month, right? Hispanic Heritage Month,
yeah.
Father's Day Month, Father's
But
Remembrance, not
fathers.
Remembrance, Father's Celebration,
Okay.
Father's Celebration Month. I think I'm all in, Norma. I don't know if people are going to agree with me, especially mothers, but at least we're going to try.
Well,
Norm,
there are mothers, Alex, that if there's not a father within the child's place right now, of course, mothers do step up. And why are you doing that?
there are a
Why are
lot
you
of mothers, you're right, that serve the role as fathers as well. And there are
right?
some fathers that serve the role of mothers as well.
Mothers,
So we cannot
right?
forget that. And that's important. And there are some families, Norma, and again,
Mm-hmm.
the role of families, I think, is changing. Well, you have adults, you have different people that are part of your family, not necessarily blood father or mother, but that to me that doesn't matter. It's the symbolism
Right.
of guiding, of taking care of teaching and learning from each other. So very political way of saying that things have changed, Norma, and that's a good
Yeah,
thing. That's a good thing. That's a
that's a
good
good
thing.
thing.
Well, let's get to it, Norma, because there's a lot on the plate
Okay.
today. Welcome again to you, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate you joining us. We are live on this Monday evening, and I want to start, Norma, with a little bit of what's going on in Washington, D.C. Earlier today, and it continues, I believe, close to the White House, Lafayette Park. They are tearing down, actually, statues, or trying to tear down a statue. I believe it's Alexander Hamilton, if I'm not mistaken. But Norma, what that tells us is that the protest and unrest continue, and there's been a movement lately to try to topple statues, symbols of America's history. Let's put it that way, of our history. I'm going to use that word. Norma, what is your take on how far we push this? Because it appears that some people want to remove a lot of history. Is George Washington fair game? Is Abraham Lincoln fair game? Who decides who stays and who goes? That's my question, Norma.
Yeah, that's Alex. I mean, that's the thing. It is history. However, I can understand on people's perspective on it. Is it something where they knock it down and it just totally gets destroyed, or does it go to? I think I've seen some statues that are going to museums, even though they may not be displayed in the whole public as like in a park or something like that,
Right.
but in a museum as part of history. So yeah, I mean, that's tough. I mean, I totally understand where people are coming from. The thing is, I mean, that is dangerous. Of course, you have all the protesters are trying to take the statue down. Hopefully no one is getting hurt. But I do see a lot of that going on. So what is your intake, Alex, on it?
Well, Norma, I guess you turned the question back to me. Very, very intelligent way of telling me. What do you think, Alex? You didn't give me an answer.
I didn't give you an answer.
You didn't give me an answer. I did catch that you didn't give me an answer, Norma. Look, I talked about this last week a little bit. I think our nation, I know our nation is evolving. Like most of human society, we evolve, we change over time. I remember when the facts changed my life. Now the facts is ancient history. It doesn't mean we throw it away necessarily. It means we put it in context of what technological advancements and developments and smartphones and other things. I think periodically it's important to reevaluate those things we hold as important as part of history. Norma, the Confederate flag, and we're gonna get to that shortly here with news of NASCAR. But the Confederate flag is a symbol of racism. It stood for the South. It stood for those that wanted to keep a certain way of life, which included slavery. Which is there's no way you can support slavery of human beings. It's wrong. It's immoral. Period. And any symbols that would support that have to be questioned. I don't think there's a way around that, Norma. Are we going to offend people? Absolutely. But this country is evolving and changing, and I believe improving because of these things. Look at gay rights, Norma. A few years ago, you couldn't look up to people like Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk to many is a hero, and he was, and he is, and he should be treated as such. It doesn't mean we're all perfect human beings. You look at someone like Thomas Jefferson, Norma. He was a slave owner, but he also brought us democracy in many ways and the documents to support our way of life today. So it is about evaluating, it's about thinking, it's about also having a conversation, Norma, about what we uphold and what we feel is the right thing. But it's us collectively trying to do it. I think when the boundaries of, hey, I'm going to do it by force, that's when you've got to ask yourself, how far are you going? Is it anarchy? And if you don't stop that anarchy, that lack of rule, Norma, how far does it go? What is next? What if people decide, you know what, we don't want public schools anymore. We're going to have our own schools and start defacing public property. So it's a fine balance. Again, I go back to my point, Norma. Where's the leadership to guide us through this, to talk about this with us? Apparently, that's where I think we're lacking.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once they knock it down, what's going to happen? Whoever makes that decision, are they going to put it back up? But again, that leads us, who makes that decision? And of course, it's and like what you said, it's the leadership. But who is the leadership that's really going to make that decision and let everybody know that they're the ones who make that decision?
Well, Norma, one of the people that is definitely our leader is President Donald Trump, and you can hate him or you can love him, and we're going to have that discussion, Norma, this year, because it's an election year. But this past Saturday in Tulsa, Oklahoma, he showed up for a rally. He apparently was expecting, or the Republicans were expecting, they said, the potential of over 1 million people. That apparently did not materialize. And there's some discussion about what happened. And obviously he had some support from what you can see in this video. There were some people that were there to greet President Trump in his first rally, campaign stop since the COVID-19 epidemic. But also by the same token, Norma, there were people who were also out in the streets protesting and equally demanding that Black Lives Matter and a host of other things, I'm sure, that they were not happy with. And this is a way for them to get their time in the spotlight. And I get it. This is the media coverage. This is what people want in many ways as far as that goes. But really, Norma, one of my first questions is, was it the right time to get out there and be without masks in a mass rally? I believe that's the first officially public event, Norma, with thousands of people since COVID-19. Is that leadership, or is it, I'm sure it's going to fall two ways. People that say, let's live, let's get on with our lives, and those people that say, no, it was irresponsible. What do you think, Norma? And don't dance around it this time.
No, but I actually tuned in and watched it. And I looked to see, first I checked, okay, let's see how many people are wearing masks. That was my biggest thing. Not many. I think I counted a handful of people. Is it too soon? Well, you know what? I think it is too soon. Now, however, there's been a couple of things in regards to why people are saying that there's not that many people that were at the rally, right? So they were expecting a huge number of people. And I'd like to know, one of the things is why there was not that many people. I hear conflicting stories from different news media. One said, some of the people there say that, it's because of security didn't let them in, is what some of the Trump supporters says that actually had tickets to the rally. That I don't know. Then you hear the story of the TikTokers, Alex. I don't know if you're familiar with TikTok.
The TikTok is a clock, Norma?
TikTokers. No, the TikToker is kind of like it's a different social media platform, which, by the way, I love to get on because it's just sometimes hilarious to watch. But
so you're on TikTok. People can find you today on TikTok.
You can find me on TikTok.
Right.
But
look for Norma on TikTok.
But the thing is that apparently there was, I guess I could say, a campaign of TikTokers that were saying, get some tickets, but don't show up, so that the Trump committee would think that there's so many people that are going, but no one shows up. They think, could that been some kind of impact in regards to why he didn't have that many people there? I don't know, but I really would like to know the reason why he didn't have a lot of people. Was he disappointed? Have you heard anything in regards to that? I also heard, and to top that off also too, Alex, is on the news, is that some of his staffers had COVID when they first visited Tulsa. Before the rally. So that kind of tells you is that, he had some staffers that were tested positive. And so it'll be interesting to see, in regards to this rally and what the outcome is.
Sure. Well, I think as far as the reasons behind it, Norma, if there were an overwhelming amount of support, and if there were clear, what's the right word? Clear support, not only of him politically, but of this situation with COVID, that arena would have been full. overflow would have been full, and it would have been completely a victory in that sense for President Trump. Another way to look at it, Norma, is at least he's getting out. He's starting the process of reopening America, and this was one way for him to do it. And the sad part of all of this, Norma, is the spin. One side says, oh, it was glorious, it was awesome, nothing wrong with it. The other side, immediately, negative, negative, negative. It's a failure, it's a fiasco. How dare he do this? People are so entrenched, Norma, it's just one or the other. Again, you're with me or you're against me. That is the sad state of affairs in our country. And it's only going to get worse, Norma. The insults continue. One of the shows we want to do, Norma, is about political ads. Apparently, Norma, in politics, you can lie in a political ad, lie, L-I-E, make stuff up, and there's no ramification. And then later, everybody shakes hands and says, oh, it's all right. It was just politics. Yeah. It's accepted. I don't understand why these people don't. I mean, it's how much of the truth can you distort in order to get elected? That's what it's come down to, Norma. Excuse me.
But hasn't it always been like that? And hasn't it always been like that, Alex, in regards to when they campaign? They promise you the moon. They promise you everything. And at the end of the day, do they really fulfill those commitments?
The answer is no. The answer is no, right. Norma. And why do we, as the electorate, put up with it? That's what I don't understand. He said, she said this, 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 and this. And when they got there, they didn't do any of that. Oh, but they justified it as I couldn't do this. The other party did that. They blocked me, blah, blah, blah. So it's a really crazy game, Norma, of I don't understand how we got to this point. But I guess that opens it up to just slander people, make stuff up, and as long as you're running for office, no one's ever going to worry about it.
Right.
That's the sad state of affairs. So anyway, that's a little bit of politics to start. Our ratings are dropping, Norma. So apparently,
is it because we're talked about Trump, or
I think it's because maybe people don't like a point of view. I don't know. I was hoping we'd have a little balance, but apparently that's not happening.
Now, Alex, if you were in Tulsa and you had the opportunity to go to that Trump rally,
I have been to Tulsa, Norma. I lived there for a while.
No, I know. Yeah, but you're not answering my question.
Well, I haven't let you even ask the question.
I did. If you were in Tulsa and you got the opportunity to go, you got tickets, would you have gone to the rally? That's what I asked.
As a citizen or as someone covering it? Because I would have gone to cover it. No, I don't believe, Norma, in standing in line for politicians. I don't care who it is. To be honest with you, that's not my bag, baby. I wouldn't do that. If I met a politician, Norma, to be honest with you, I don't hold politicians at a very high level of respect, to be honest with you. All of them, any of them. From presidents certainly down. And I don't mean any disrespect by that. It's just they're people like the rest of us, which means they make mistakes. And I would dare say, Norma, the majority of politicians are liars. And the majority of politicians, in my opinion, are self-serving. And the majority of politicians, to be honest with you, toe the party line, period. Again, I go back to my belief, we should have a third party. But I know I'm dreaming, because in my lifetime, that's not going to happen. So, no, the answer is no, flat out no. Now, would I go cover it? Yes. Would I go ask people about why they're there and what motivated them to get out on a Saturday night from the COVID quarantine and go see this man? Absolutely. But me personally, no, I wouldn't.
No.
The ratings just went up, Norma. Someone agrees with me. Someone agrees with me. Well, Norma, let's get into a little bit of sports, if you don't mind. Maybe we'll pick up a little bit of interest to Deportes Nation. And Norma, this story really is sad, but really amazing. Apparently, over the weekend, Norma, in Talladega, NASCAR race, there was news was found
after what happened here yesterday
in
afternoon.
the garage of the 43 team.
The drivers,
the 43 team is Richard
led by
Petty
reigning
Motorsports,
Cup Series champion
and the driver
Kyle
is Bubba
Busch in
Wallace.
green,
But today,
and their
the race was delayed yesterday because
the entire garage
today,
area
an amazing thing happened.
has rallied around
Bubba
Wallace and the number
for the
43
number 3
today.
team in trying to root out what is
because
just
yesterday
an awful
afternoon,
act of racism. and hatred.
A noose
and the images were showing
was
courtesy
found
of Fox and
hanging in the
NASCAR just
garage
are
stall
amazing. The support of this
above his
young
race
man.
car.
You see him here in his vehicle.
In the NASCAR
it
Cup
was
garage
really
area,
emotional to watch.
a secure area
as
where access
literally
is
every
limited
driver,
to competitors,
every team, and including
officials,
the great Richard
track
Petty, which you
staff.
see here in the hat. If you're not familiar with NASCAR, coming
A
out and
despicable
saying,
act
"Look, we're
by
here for you,
someone
and we understand."
flying
it.
directly
What's
in
sad,
the face
Norma,
of
is that this
NASCAR's
continues
efforts
happen
to
in
build
this
a
country.
culture
This kind of
that
hatred,
is
this kind
diverse,
of shameless racism.
and welcome.
But what was amazing, NASCAR, traditionally to many, seen as a
That's
I'm gonna
why
use
Richard
this term,
Petty is here today.
as a Southern white sport,
And why Ryan Blaney,
really supporting, by the way, the
his
only
friends,
African American driver
competitors,
in NASCAR.
and on-track foes
Norma, awful
closed
situation.
ranks
By the way, the FBI is investigating
him.
this incident with the news. But it's beautiful and wonderful the way
when that
the
window
support
net goes
that
up
Bubba
later
Wallace received.
today, racing is the
it
great
was very
equalizer.
touching, Alex, when I saw this.
Everybody's 6'4",
them coming with
240
him, walking
pounds.
with
Everybody
him,
has
the hugs,
600 horsepower.
I also was able to see a
No one
interview that they had with
is
his
white,
mom on
black,
one of the news
brown, or
stations,
yellow.
and
They are all
it's just
racers.
overwhelming. And the thing
they
is,
are
though, Alex,
all
what you said
our
earlier, he's
heroes.
the first African American NASCAR driver. It's amazing.
I don't know if he's the first. I think he's the only current.
Is he,
Let me clarify that, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and the thing is, I'm not into NASCAR. I'm not, because I'm just not into it. But because of this, and because of the unity of it, and that I see as a sport that they're coming into, it makes me more interested in it.
Sure.
Just because of the fact they're all coming together as a community in regards to the sport, and it's a great thing and it's a good change. So that to me shows that they're all coming together, which is good.
The Confederate flag, we spoke of that earlier, Norma, apparently was also banned officially by NASCAR for many events. And in Talladega, which is in Alabama, by the way, in case you didn't know, the track is, prior to a couple of the races and qualifiers of the events of the days, there were people outside that were displaying their Confederate flags. There was a plane flying over. Again, the balance, Norma, is that our culture? Is that our ethnicity? Is that our values? Or do we realize what it stands for? That's what we kind of have to weigh. I think whenever this discussion comes up, I think this is a perfect example of people that, well, this is the flag I know. It's what it stands for. All of us have to look at things. Norma, I'm really probably going to get in trouble about this, but it's like the Catholic Church and the abuse by priests. How far do we go in supporting an institution that allowed this to happen? And I know I'm probably going to get criticized for that comment, Norma, but it's a fact. And it's a fact at the local level. It was a fact at the national level. And the church was aware of it. And it's awful. And as a Catholic, and I pretend to be one, Norma, I'm shocked and disappointed. I went through this. I was an altar boy. I didn't have any issues, thank goodness, in my life. But I could see how someone could very easily be manipulated. My point is, we have to look back on these things, think about them, and if need be, correct them. And I think that's what's happening right now in our country.
Yeah. Now, and first of all, I didn't know you were an altar boy.
I was awesome, Norma. I carried the thing and I rang the bells many years ago, Norma.
I would make the sign of the cross.
I liked wearing the little robe, Norma. It was fun. I went to Catholic school, Norma, if you can believe that.
But you know what? Now
it explains a lot of things, doesn't it?
It explains a lot of things, yes, exactly.
Our Catholic audience just dropped by half, Norma. Just to let you know. By the way, no comments this evening, Norma. Nobody or I can't see any, right?
No, I don't see any. I think maybe it's Monday. People have the Monday blues still. Maybe they kind of need to get into the week. Maybe it's because of that, Alex.
Maybe it's because of many things. So maybe it's because of our comments, Norma. If at some point we go to zero audience, then I think we've got to change the subject.
We'll always have one.
Because our mothers are watching. Thank you,
one
Moms.
of our mothers.
We appreciate that. Yeah, we'll always have one.
We'll always have one.
So yeah, I don't want to get too much off topic, Norma. I know we were talking about the issue of, and forgive me, I'm trying to fix something behind me live on air, so this is really embarrassing. But Norma, the key for me is that we think about these things, we reevaluate, and we find a way to, if need be, correct them. That's the beauty of this, is to have a conversation about it. And Norma, with culture, with sport, we're seeing sports change. Like you said, NASCAR traditionally has been a southern, more Anglo-oriented sport for many reasons. But it's I enjoy it. I enjoy Formula One racing. I enjoy motorsports in general. Again, the situation today in Talladega was awful in one way because of what happened, but beautiful in another way because of the support. And that's the beauty of people coming together. Norma, let's talk a little bit about another sport and some I guess, issues right now that are happening. And just today, Norma, this afternoon, there was some breaking news from the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League, that 6 Orlando Pride players had tested positive for COVID-19. This means that the team, in fact, is pulling out of what was called the NWSL Challenge Cup, which was scheduled to begin play this coming weekend in Utah. So disappointing for the league, disappointing for these ladies, and it really is one of those things, Norma, where it's sad in many ways, but it speaks of where we are with COVID-19. More and more people are testing positive. They may not have symptoms, they may not be ill, but this is what's happening. And I think what we need to do, Norma, is take a look at every part of our society. Testing is going to lead to positives, which is going to lead to people having anxiety about it, Norma. But I believe what happened with the Orlando Pride, the NWSL, I believe, Norma, is also going to happen with other leagues as they try to start up again.
Yeah, I don't think this is just more of a beginning, Alex, of COVID being more out there in regards to people being positive. And it's kind of scary just because of the fact that you just don't hear one case. But lately, you've been hearing multiple cases of people getting COVID. A lot more athletes because of the fact that they're now started going back into training. And also just, us regular people, too. If you hear just locally,
You're a regular person, Norma? I didn't know that.
The more people that you know, of course, you hear more stories of people testing positive. So, I mean, I think now it's something that I'm personally trying to get used to, of hearing that more people are testing positive. But what are we going to do about it?
Exactly, Norma. What can we do about it? It's not a death sentence. It's I don't want to. Again, I'm not a doctor, and I'm probably going to get chastised for this. It's a flu situation. Forgive me if I'm wrong, and forgive me if some of you have family members that have gone through it, of severe flu that can lead to awful consequences. But at some point, Norma, can we afford, and I don't mean only financially, but emotionally, in our mental health, afford to shut down our cities, our country, our world? Today here in Texas, Governor Abbott basically said, play on, didn't he, Norma? He came out and he didn't say we're slowing things down. He said just wear masks. That's the solution at this point.
Yeah, I don't foresee him at all closing down Texas.
But let me ask you this. Why? Because it's medical driven or because it's politically driven? Two different things.
I think it's, the thing is, in regards to, he wants the economy to keep going, which we all do.
We all do.
I get it. We all do. I get it. And I think the statistics of those that are dying from COVID, those that are the hospital beds, he's thinking, yes, it's high, but we got to keep going, and I think it's to a point to where, when is he going to really say, okay, yeah, that's just too extreme? I don't see him getting to that point. I honestly don't. That's just my opinion. But, again, what does that mean? That people are going to wind up staying home more. Does that still hurt the economy? On some places, they're not going to want to go out to eat. They're not going to want to go to the movies. They're not going to want to go and shop or whatever. it may explode more of the economy as in like more curbside, which again, businesses have to get more creative on regards to how are they going to promote their businesses a different way rather than the norm of what they usually do, because now people are more wanting to stay home because of the COVID increase.
Norma, if any of you that are watching, and we thank you for watching, have a comment about that or any of the topics we've discussed, please send us a quick message. Norma, I see Lucy saying it's all political. And I'm cynical like you, Lucy. I believe the same thing, that if it were one party or another, if it were the Democrats right now, things would have been a lot slower. The Republicans are trying to move fast because they want to either forget about it or claim victory from it, or get back because the economy we know is hurting. So yes, it's all political. The sad part about that, Norma, is this should be driven by medical experts, not by politicians. And this speaks of where we put our faith. We put our faith in political parties. Literally, lives, Norma, are in the hands of politicians who I just mentioned earlier, to me are not the most, what is the right word? The most respected people and the most the people that are role models to us. It's just a sad state of affairs.
You know, and Alex, I think for me, if we have any nurses or anyone that works in the medical field that's listening to us, I'd like for them to chime in and let us know the reality of what they see every day.
Sure.
If they're in that situation to where they see numbers increase. Because at the end of the day, I'm not there at the hospital, thank God, right now. But they're the ones who are at that front line, seeing people come in, seeing how many people come in, what those symptoms are, you know, and all hats to them. I mean, their job, of course, I mean,
they're first responders, Norma.
They're first responders. That's a lot, you know, but I'd like to hear from them. And so if we've got any listeners that are in that field, to let our other listeners know what's really going out there, you know, and again, we listen to the politicians.
Speaking of politicians, Norma, and Lucy, I think, found the word. They're not the smartest people either. That's a fact. So Lucy and I are in tune tonight. Lucy, I'll send you the check later.
Are you talking about the politicians are not that smart?
Yes, we're referring to the and Uncle Alex is not that smart either. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get
me wrong.
No, don't get it twisted.
I have no idea how I graduated high school and college, Norma, but I did. It only took me 8 years to get out of high school, another 8 to get out of college. That's not bad.
It's not 8 years?
Yeah.
And then it took you 2 minutes to buy it on eBay, right?
Shh, don't mention that, Norma. Don't give me away, please. But yes, what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Are we in the hands of politicians, and is that a good thing? I think you know my point of view. It's not a good thing at all. But Norma, let's go just one little bit a step further. What other option do we have? These are the people we entrusted. These are the people that are not only taking our tax money and spending it in the way they see fit, but literally making life and death decisions for us. I think it's time to revisit who we have as candidates and the people that are there making decisions. The other thing we have to know, Norma, and you and I live this at a very reduced level. You can't please everybody. The beauty of a democracy is that you're always going to have supporters and people that are completely opposed to your point of view. And you still have to move forward, make a decision, and do the best you can. I'm not supporting necessarily here the decisions of politicians, but I know it can't be easy.
No, and no, I'm sure it's not easy. But Alex, going back to the mask thing, now that, you know, Governor Abbott has now said, you know, he's trying to say that you need to wear a mask, but he has not required it. So it really, people are they really going to listen to him? Are they really going to say, okay, well, I'm going to wear my mask, even though they haven't required it? Or do you think it's maybe, he may take it a step further if it gets worse, then he may require it at that point?
I believe there's what Abbott said, Governor Abbott from Texas today, Norma, was clear that there's no fine or penalty for individuals not wearing them. It was businesses, right?
The businesses, right. Mm-hmm.
And my point is, if there's no enforcement behind a law, why even have it, right?
Right.
If no one's enforcing it, then it's just talk. It's just whatever. Oh, well, it's a recommendation that we're not going to enforce. There it is. It's just do it if you want to, and if you don't, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But what we really see here, Norma, in many ways, and by the way, Lucy agrees with Alex, so let's write that down. She's our prize winner for tonight.
And hardly anybody agrees with you.
Well, at least
I mean, like I.
This
know,
could
I
be
don't always agree with
these
you.
could be the TikTokers, Norma, or the K-pop people. They're just playing with us.
But Alex, lately, actually on TikTok and other things too,
Yes,
on
ma'am.
YouTube. But you know, now that a lot of the businesses, which just started here in Houston as of today,
The mask, you
right?
mean?
The mask,
Yes.
wearing the mask.
Yes.
And I think some businesses before required the mask, but I've seen a lot of videos that people have taken where, at Walmart, where you have the greeter, the person that watches everybody come.
Norma,
to make
I know
sure.
that's your next profession, Norma, the greeter at Walmart, because you know
Yeah,
everybody.
So you have the greeter. So the thing is that person's going to have to monitor everyone that comes in. And what happens? What is their process? What is their
Their qualifications.
well, not even qualifications, but if someone comes in and says, the one video I saw, I think it was Walmart, the man walks in and refuses to wear the mask, and the guy says, "Sir,
a customer,
right?
Okay.
Says, "Sir, you have to use your mask," and the worker is trying to get him out of
But the greeter is 97 years old, Norma. There's no way.
But if someone comes in and says, the one video I saw, I think it was 30s, Walmart, I would say. The man, but the gentleman was an older man,
Right.
probably in his 70s. And of course, the greeter doesn't want to hurt the gentleman, but the gentleman didn't want to listen.
Sure.
And he did slip, he fell, and he still didn't want to listen. And then even the customers were also telling him, hey, you got to get out. You got to put a mask on. Is there going to be a lot of those situations now where people that don't want to wear a mask are going to still go against the grain and walk in the store and see if they can get, away with it? Are we going to see more videos like that?
Look, Norma, for many people, and I think we go back to the rally and President Trump, and let me roll some of that video again. Look, the attitude, Norma, in many ways was defiance. I'm not going to wear it because I'm not going to wear it. I don't care if it's right or wrong. I don't care if I'm going to either be infected or infect others. And my people that think the way I do are going to do the same thing. That's
right.
The beauty, Norma, of our democracy, even though it may have a consequence. He, in this case, Trump, his supporters may really, literally have gotten themselves sick because of this. But you know what? In some way, Norma, don't they have the right to do that?
Yeah, and Alex, I read also that those that went to that rally had to sign off, probably when they purchased the ticket, check the box, that they cannot come back to, Trump and them, basically, if they get COVID, that they are not responsible for that.
So they signed a waiver of liability.
They signed a waiver, right, exactly. So...
Well, I get it, Norma. They're trying to protect themselves. But I also get the balance in our country, Norma, of freedom. You wouldn't want it the other way, where things were mandated to us. And again, I go back to the balance of the freedom, the democracy we have in this country. It's a limited democracy, but it's a democracy. And we are allowed to make our own mistakes, Norma. The problem is when we start getting to that point where how much do my personal choices affect the lives of others? And again, every time I start talking like a political scientist, Norma, our ratings drop. So
they're dropping slowly.
I will not do that anymore. Nobody wants to hear a speech from Uncle Alex except Lucy, who agrees with me. She agreed with me half an hour ago. I'm just mentioning it again because I don't want anyone to forget that. I don't want anyone to forget that. Well, so that we've talked a little bit about COVID. We've talked a little bit about the NWSL and the Orlando Pride not being able to play in the upcoming tournament in Utah. Let's go, Norma, now. They're telling me to our top five. I think it's time for our top five of the day. And let's see, Norma. Let's go with you first. And the topic, ladies and gentlemen, this evening was our top five sporting events. Just in general terms, the top five sporting events. And we'll go with Norma's list. And Norma, I know that you and I often agree, but we also disagree. I haven't checked mine compared to yours. So lead us through your top five, please.
Okay. So my fifth one is the Summer and Winter Olympics.
Okay, that's a good one.
I really enjoy those. My number 4 is the World Series.
Baseball, right?
Major leagues. Mm-hmm. Number 3 is the NBA playoffs.
Wow.
Number 2 is the World Cup.
FIFA,
and
soccer,
course,
right?
Yeah, FIFA. And of course, number 1 is going to have to be Super Bowl.
Do you actually watch the game, Norma, the Super Bowl game? Do you actually watch it?
I do. I do. I love the game. It's the hype of the commercials, the halftime show, the game, seeing the fans. Yeah.
So the whole thing to you is just the best spectacle in sport ever, huh?
Yeah. I mean, because, it's not, you just don't watch just the game,
right.
But there's more insight to it because of the commercials, because of the halftime show.
I guess.
And then the after show. So I think there's a lot that goes into that.
Do you usually cook for the Super Bowl, Norma? Do you throw parties?
I don't throw parties,
no,
but I do cook. We do make it a little family event for us.
Okay, because if you threw a party and I haven't been invited, I would be a little upset. But apparently, no one else is invited. It's just you guys.
Yeah, dude, it's just us.
Okay, all right. I don't feel that bad. All right, let's go with my top 5 sporting events. Number 5, NBA Finals, Norma, and I've been blessed to be physically at a couple of these, so it really is an amazing environment. The game itself, the series themselves, because it's a series, home and away, that's what makes it interesting and to me riveting to watch. Anything can happen. It's been a long road by the time teams get there, but it's definitely one of my top 5. Number 4, the Masters, golf. I love watching golf in the late spring, early summer in Augusta, Georgia. To me, that course is amazing. The beauty of it and the talent and the quality of anyone that qualifies for the Masters, to me, again, top 5, in this case, number 4. U.S. Open tennis, playing in what used to be, it's still the U.S. Tennis Center in Flushing, New York is amazing. I've also had the opportunity to be there live. And to me, those matches, Norma, that start at 9, 10 o'clock at night and play until 1 o'clock in the morning, it's just amazing. The crowd, what they get into. Speaking of tennis, number 2, Wimbledon. To me, it's a tradition to play on grass. When I was younger, I never understood how that was even possible because I played on hard courts, on cement. How can you play on grass? That's on my bucket list, Norma, to physically go there and enjoy it. I haven't done that. I've transmitted some via satellite, but not physically there. But Wimbledon, to me, is amazing. And the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, the Soccer World Cup, number 1. The spectacle, everything and anything about the World Cup, to me, is amazing. Every 4 years. It's not like every year. You have to earn it. You really have to get there. Yes, it's corrupt. Yes, FIFA runs it. But it really is the best teams in the world coming together. The beauty of it in the last couple of years or last couple of tournaments, Norma, has been that it's not the same teams over and over again. I like the underdog going to the World Cup. And lately, the United States not qualifying.
Well, I
don't like that, but
I thought maybe you really liked the World Cup because of the whole Ricky Martin thing.
Oh,
remember how that's? I thought that was the start of it, of the reason why you like the World Cup so much.
I am a big Ricky fan. Let's just say that. I would love to live La Vida Loca with Ricky Martin. That's all I'm trying to say. No? Too much?
Too much.
Too much. Well, congratulations to Ricky. He's made a career of whatever it is he does.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of him. What is your top 5? Do any of you agree or disagree? Norma, ratings are very low tonight, so I don't know if anyone's even watching tonight.
I'm sure they are. Remember, we got different platforms. Have you checked YouTube?
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. Norma, why do you remind me of the obvious and then I missed the obvious? Let's check the Twitter.
I mean, we could have at least 500 people watching on YouTube right now, and we don't even know it.
It's very likely, and I'm sure they're laughing all the way, Norma, tonight and realizing that, why are we watching this? Actually, there are a couple of people, Norma, watching on the Twitter. So that's good. Twitter. So we appreciate them watching and tuning in. And, since we're doing the show, I never can watch it. I think we can replay this later, right, Norma? And people can watch it.
Yeah, people can still watch it.
That's good. They can still be blessed with our presence.
again, it's a Monday. It's probably a Monday where people are. It's Father's Day's weekend that just passed, so it's probably that people are needing to get back into the groove of the week. So
get into the groove, Norma. Madonna song, right? I'm sure you were a big Madonna fan, aren't you, Norma? I'm a big Ricky Martin fan, but you're a big Madonna fan. No?
Yeah, Madonna's cool.
No?
Yeah.
You're a material girl.
Material.
I can tell. So Norma, that was our top 5. Thank you guys for putting up with that. Norma, this week, apparently another busy week as things start opening up. Again, the first professional league that is opening up is the NWSL minus the Orlando Pride. Like I mentioned, I believe, Norma, unfortunately, as the NBA and I believe Major League Baseball is finally trying to figure out and reaching an agreement. And just about Major League Baseball, Norma, I don't understand right now how the players and the Players Union and Association and the owners are bickering over how rich they can get when people are going through so much. It really is. I'm going to say this. It's embarrassing. And in the last couple of years, when people fight over this in baseball, to me, it just turns me off, Norma. I'm not really supportive of a league. And we have a choice that really is worrying about the billions they're going to make and crying about it. I get it. It's business, and they have to stand up for what they earn, and I respect that. But really, it's like, whatever.
The number one thing that people argue about, Alex, is money, right?
Yes. Speaking of which, Norma, no, let's not bring that up now. They do, but I get it. It's business, and it's business, and it's business some more. And everything they make you think about, the loyalty to your team and get behind your team. It's just that, Norma. It's made up stuff to make a little more money, and it's okay. Sports are entertainment. Sports, for the lucky ones that get to play at a high level and be part of professional franchises, it can be a great life. It can be amazing. I've been blessed to cover sports. I've been blessed to be part of organizations, and I see it. I've been able to see it from the inside, from the outside. I think at some point, though, Norma, it gets to be a little too much, especially today, this day and age, when people are suffering and maybe are without a job or are ill. Worrying about millions, Norma, is to me so much. It's just secondary.
Alex, I know it's not what you're talking about, the topic.
I bored you. I get it. I understand.
No,
Let's move on.
I was watching this show.
On Netflix, Norma? Hey, I watched Netflix this week.
No. Oh, I'm so proud of you. No, it was about baseball. Sammy Sosa.
Yes.
So he looks very different.
Sammy's changed.
Yeah, he's changed. I was a little I was very shocked, I should say. Totally, he looks very different.
Well, look, let's not criticize his look, Norma.
No, I'm not. Alex, yeah. I am not criticizing his look, Alex. Well, I'm just saying he looks different. That's like if I had a different colored lipstick, you would say, Norma, you look different, right?
Norma,
if I colored my
tonight.
hair,
yes.
You would say, Norma, you look different. All I am saying, Alex, is he looks different. No, that's all I'm saying.
He does look different, and I believe he has come out and said that he's used some skin lightening or skin toning stuff to make himself a little bit lighter. I'm going to use that term. I hope I'm not offending anyone. Norma's the one that brought up the subject, so blame her. Write her the nasty comments.
No,
Alex Parra.
Alex, I didn't say anything about skin color. I didn't say. All I said is he looked different.
No, we all look different as we age, but he looks really different.
No, it was a show. It talked about him, and it talked about Mark McGwire when they had the battle of home runs. I don't know if you remember. Right.
Do.
So I had gotten into it, and first they were talking about Mark, and then it switched to him, and I'm like, who is that guy? Hold on. And then, of course, on the bottom, it said his name on TV. And
Sammy Sosa's like, no way.
Yeah.
I get it. He's changed. And look, I'm still more concerned, Norma, when we're talking about Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire's the steroid era in baseball.
Yeah.
How it, again, I mentioned the Catholic Church earlier. Again, we're going to lose followers, viewers, Norma.
Hold on. Let me make the sign of the cross for you.
Amen.
Okay, go ahead.
May the Lord be with you, and also with you, Norma.
Go ahead.
The steroid era was as a time when literally, Norma, it was sanctioned by everybody knew what everybody was doing, and they turned away.
Yeah.
We put so much emphasis on winning again that anything can go, including what baseball teams, the Houston Astros, did in the sign stealing scheme, Norma. We have our children that we raise with a goal in mind to say, one day, young man, young woman, you're going to be a professional athlete. And look to which extent many people, many organizations take this. But it's part of life, Norma. When we've had these discussions in the past, we've realized, it's not just sports. In most areas of life, people want to find a way to cheat or get ahead, and that's the way they justify it. Hey, it's just money. Hey, it's just business. Hey, I'm not hurting anyone. It's the human condition, Norma. Again, ratings are dropping as we speak.
See, it's because you started talking about church, and there you go.
Oh yeah, all the Catholics are mad at me tonight.
When I started talking about Sammy Sosa, my ratings went up high.
You're right. You're right. In this day of instant analytics, Norma, you can know exactly what to talk about and what to drop. So even Lucy went to bed. She said, "Alex, I had it with you. I'm done." Lucy, I don't blame you. Lucy, don't leave me, please, Lucy. Oh, I wanted to show you my Father's Day present, or one of them. Did you want to see it?
Yeah, I want to see what it is.
The big reveal, Norma. Here we go. Is there some music for opening presents? I like the bag, Norma. I don't understand what it means. Well, I got a couple of things. Again, I got breath mints, mouthwash, and deodorant. I get that. I get that.
Was that in a different bag? And was it like more than one mouthwash? Did they give you like a whole palette?
They gave me the thing. They gave me the thing for the tongue. I'm a stink, Norma. I don't know what's going on, but it's brutal. It's brutal the way they make me feel. But they may be right. So I'm around them, meeting my family. So I guess I have to. But this, Norma, is my present, and I don't know what it has to do with Father's Day. But there it is. What is it? It's a duck.
It's a duck?
It's a duck with an Easter egg. So I think they got the wrong holiday.
Does it make noise?
Well, the problem is, apparently it was bought at, because I pressed the foot and nothing happens. So it's not even a functioning present. What does that make you think? I don't know what that makes you think.
So it doesn't say anything.
It doesn't. It's just there, and I'm like, why? It's like, well, because we love you. So what do you do when you get a present like this?
Alex, you got to remember, it's a thought that counts.
Right? That's the way I interpreted my Father's Day. So, Norma, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. You're gonna have.
We always get together. I know. I can see that part of one of my gifts.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Alex, as long as you attach some kind of gift card, I'll take that duck.
Okay.
Or money, or cash.
Well, maybe there's something inside the duck or inside the egg. I don't know. Does it have a
zipper or anything? Is it stuffed with money?
It does have a zipper, Norma. Hold on.
Okay, maybe they stuffed it with money or something, or more breath mints.
Huh.
No?
Well, this is something to look into after the show, Norma, definitely. By the way, our ratings just shot up. They must love the duck more than they do Uncle Alex. So, happy Father's Day, I was told. So, I'm enjoying my duck. There you go, Norma.
Oh, hey.
Yes?
Alex, it says on the top, it says, what does it say? It says pull the what?
It says pull my ears, Norma.
So what does it do when you pull the ears?
Nothing. Norma, I've been pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and nothing's happening. And that was even before I got the duck. No, that's a bad joke.
You know what? I think you may need to look at the past presents you have given your family for the last couple of years.
Yes.
And maybe that's kind of a payback of, you know what? Dad never gave me what I wanted. So for Father's Day, we're giving him an Easter bunny or Easter duck bunny or whatever it is.
But be honest with Norma, with me in the last 5 minutes we have tonight. Have you not ever passed on a gift that someone gave you, never even opened it, and you passed it on to someone else? Come on, Norma. The answer is?
Actually, yeah, for during the holidays when you do the white elephant game.
But not for real.
No, I don't think
My brothers and I go back and forth, and we keep giving each other the same gift for years. That just goes on. And we know it's coming.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I tend to enjoy it. Norma, we're almost to the end of the show tonight. What is your week looking like? What are you looking forward to this week as far as sports, as far as politics, as far as life, Norma? Give us a quick summary of what you're looking forward to this week.
Actually, this week I'm looking forward to seeing more. I'm sure there's going to be more videos, more news in regards to the whole requirement of masks within the businesses.
Right.
So I think it'd be interesting to see how people are reacting to it, if they're following it, what issues come out of some of those businesses, if they come and they have customers who just don't want to wear the mask. Watching some more TikTok, I guess. That's another thing.
Well, I'm going to learn what TikTok is and try to figure that out.
TikTok's hilarious, Alex.
I don't get it, but at my age, I'm not supposed to get it, I guess, Norma. I am looking forward to the start of the NWSL, down in Orlando. Sorry, in Utah, I apologize. In Utah, as that league, the NWSL, kicks off and gets started. So I'm looking forward to that. In the COVID world, Norma, we're the uncertainty of one day to the next, 1 week to the next is really, I think, what bothers most of us, not knowing. And I think one of the big milestones coming up will be when schools decide if they're actually going back fully or not. And if there's a hybrid here where kids have the choice to stay at home and learn remotely, continue learning remotely. I think that'll be interesting to see. And also when it comes to our current situation, Norma, with protests and unrest, I know it's a political year. You've got to ask yourself who's behind some of these things. But again, expressing yourself in a peaceful way, having that voice, I think it's very, very important. And I'll say this almost every show, Norma. At the end of the day, what's important is participating. Go out. If you want to be a candidate, speak your mind. Participate in the process. Participate and change the system. And at the end of the day, Norma, go vote. We have to vote. We have to vote, which means you have to register for voting. This year is going to be very interesting, Norma, how elections, number one, are held and also how results are presented. We've had a lot of snafus lately, and it makes me a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, start doubting our electoral system.
Yeah, and Alex, this is the time right now before you do vote is do your research, educate yourself, ask the questions, look things up, So when you're ready to vote, you know who to vote for. Of course, you just do your research and ask questions. That's the most important thing.
Ask questions.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Don't rely on the propaganda from the parties or even the media, Norma. It's propaganda. It's a tough word, but it's the truth. And everyone has an angle. And everyone has an interest. There's very few entities out there that are purely objective and trying to give us good information. They're motivated by certain things, and that's just the world we live in. Well, Norma, we're coming to the end of our first show of the week. We can't thank people enough, Norma, for supporting us, right?
Right. Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, especially on a Monday.
On a Monday, we'll be back every night this week. Latest start would be 10:30, but tomorrow now we're back on the same station. Can I say that? The same way?
Same platform?
The same platform at 10 o'clock at night. Norma, why don't you say goodbye to everyone for us, please?
Have a good evening, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.